Doer, not a talker. Hi, I'm Eric Johnson, former Republican District Attorney in St. Croix and Pierce counties for over 30 years. I'm endorsing Patty for state senate because I've seen her medical examiner work ethic firsthand. Patty and I collaborated to find solutions for the addiction and mental health crisis here in western Wisconsin. In the Senate, Patty kept fighting for mental health care resources that would support our law enforcement officers. Join me in voting to re-elect Patty Schockner for state senate on November 3rd.
Paid for by Patty for Senate.
President Trump is back, and Newsmax TV is fully covering his rallies live and without interruption. Newsmax TV is rising fast. Watch great shows with Greg Kelly and Sean Spicer. Plus on weekends, Mike Huckabee, Michelle Malkin, and Diamond and Silk. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Check your guide. Get Newsmax free on Roku, Zumo, YouTube, Pluto, Apple TV, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Samsung and LG. Or download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and start watching now.
Vikings post-game coverage continues now with Vikings Overtime on FM 100.3 KFAN, Twin Cities News Talk AM 1130 and the Fan Radio Network. Vikings Overtime is presented by Transportation Plus. Now, with more post-game comments about the Vikings game, here's the Fans Eric Nordquist, AJ Mansour, and Paul Lambert.
What's happening, sports fans? Your Minnesota Vikings win 28-22 over the Green Bay Packers. They are now 2-5 as the Packers fall to 5-2. It's always good to beat the Packers, I think is what we're going with. Even though it got really weird early on when all of a sudden the line went from like 6.5 down to 5.5. And then the over-under went from 56 to 48.
Yeah.
Like in the final hour before the game started. And then it was, the wind and all that. This Packer team looked like a team that was like, we can just roll the ball out and beat them. It won't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Vikings just hung around and Dalvin Cook dominated. It was kind of sweet.
Kind of sweet. It was awesome. And regardless of whether you want the team to win games or lose games, it's something we discussed yesterday, Saucy. I just wanted to see a competent offense. And Dalvin Cook back in the mix did, just spectacular, amazing, whatever adjective you want to use to describe his game today. And about an ideal game from Kirk, if you only have to have him throw it 14 times, then you're usually doing something right. So it's the second win of the season for the team, and it's only the second game that they didn't offer up a turnover.
And they won.
So when they don't turn the ball over, they win the game.
So there's a trend there.
Almost, possibly.
Wow.
So, it was good to see them out of the bye for several reasons. And it was interesting, kind of how does the team handle it? Because they are 1-5. And the outlook of the playoffs is in question, obviously. The lights are dimming on that. And then, the future of some of these players. As we've conversed, it's not like they're completely daft to it. The idea of will there be moves made? Will there be trades?
Right.
The future of coaches and all of those things. All those things come up when your team's 1-5. And it was cool to see a team that came out and still wants to fight for their coach, still wants to fight for their fellow players, still wants to go out there and put a good product on the field. And as shocking as it was, the defense looked almost explosive and there was playmaking quality to it today. And I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I'm super surprised at what I witnessed today.
Was for just assuming that this was going to be a big time, if not just a Packers win, a big time Packers win. Everything on paper told us that's what it was going to turn out to be. And it prompted me personally to write a couple articles leading into this game's week. And the tone of those articles, Paul, was we're shifting. Okay, everyone survived the bye week. Outside of Unique Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Everyone else survived the bye week, but we're one bad loss, which, again, shame on us for assuming it was going to happen this weekend, away from really trying to analyze where this season was going to go. You could have, if they would have lost, you had a coach that was coaching for wins for his job. You had a general manager who is balancing the future and the present, already making that Yannick Ngakoue trade to get some more draft picks and recoup some of that. You have players that are going to start to change the way that they look at each game, whether they're trying to hit performance bonuses or set themselves up for future contracts. A lot of that was avoided with a win today. And it kind of changes the tone. The other article I wrote that I mentioned was an article about how this didn't feel like Packers week. Like, leading up to this, there was no talk. A lot of that has to do with coronavirus and not being in the office and not being with your family and not being out in public. But this didn't feel like Packers week. There was no excitement. You're coming out of the bye. I get that too. But there's no excitement around this team. There's no trash talk between the borders because the Packers didn't think that we mattered. We didn't think that we mattered. And then the Vikings went out there and took it to them and won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think, one, you're 100% right. Plus, I'm convinced after, listening to PA and Pete and Ben and Greg do the game that this Packer team was like ho-hum. They're like, we're going to win. It won't matter because they literally caught him looking ahead to their Thursday night game against San Francisco. And Bakhtiari will play Thursday. If the Vikings had been 5-2, that Bakhtiari probably would have played. But they thought,
maybe
whatever.
Even Aaron Jones.
Yeah, correct.
They've been kind of trying to take care of as well.
They thought, we don't need any of those guys. We can win. But then Dalvin Cook, 163 yards on 30 carries for 3 touchdowns, and then he had another touchdown through the air. He's the first guy since the merger to score 4 touchdowns on 4 possessions.
Right.
Yeah.
He dominated. He outscored the entire Packer team, where a lot of us, when we saw that the Vikings were going to be down to something called Mark Fields.
My God.
You're going, Devontae, Devontae Adams still had 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Outside of extra points and 2-point conversions, It was Devontae versus Dalvin.
But you're going, Devontae Adams is going to have 400 yards. They're going to burn him every time they go out. But then the wind happened, and then all the other stuff kind of happened. And the Vikings just hung around, and Dalvin kept them in the game. And there's no quit in Dalvin Cook. And it was one of those games that if this team wins 4 or 5 games, you'll go, man, that Packer game sucked because 3 wins, whatever.
Right.
But for now, hey, if you can knock the Packers out of like the second or third or fourth seed, great.
Yeah.
If you can knock them out, if the Bears can beat the Saints here and they're the division leaders, awesome.
Right.
For at least a week, 1 weekend, it was fine after that debacle of a Gopher game. But more to AJ's point, and you and I talked about it, Nordo, before we came on the air. This team's 1-6. Everything's back on the table.
Well, no, yeah, because if they lose and they lose, let's say they lose embarrassingly, and that's why what I was mentioning in terms of you saw guys that go out and want to work hard, want to win, want to make the plays that are in front of them. And it's a younger roster in some areas. If they just come out and they get steamrolled the way we're all envisioning about 6-7 hours ago, then tomorrow through the week, whether it's just us being on the radio and entertaining calls and emails and all of those things, future articles from AJ, all of it's going to be like trade deadline's Tuesday.
Right.
Clock's ticking.
Right.
What's up with the general manager and the head coach? All those conversations will begin and even be amplified. So,
and there could still be some moves. I think Anthony Harris might still be moved.
Well, yeah. This doesn't change anything in that respect, but I
Shouldn't.
think what this tells me, and that's why yesterday, Saturdays with Sauce, we're kind of going through like, what does rebuilding the team look like, and will the team, will they make some really harsh, just jaw-dropping decisions on guys for the long-term betterment of the team? How bad do they want to get right now in reverse to get good again? This team just has this team has too much talent to be a 1-6 team and even a 2-5 team. And so that's the toughest thing with this situation as well, is what we saw today is a function of having an elite running back, having young defenders that may have a future in this league that might be good enough to play as they continue to evolve. And so, the concept when we look at teams that are out there and are perpetually bad, that's just pure destitution.
Yeah.
And so they've put themselves in a horrible spot by losing games. There's no doubt about it. And so there's no excusing that by any stretch. But this is also moments like this when you see that there is still talent that exists on the team. And I think you can lose that when we watch the way that this team is operated.
Right.
But there's still some good players in the mix.
Sure.
And I think you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. I think the offensive
They were
line
pretty good today. How about
maybe
Ezra?
Ezra played great.
Yeah.
Brian O'Neill played great on that 50 or that kind of screen pass to Cook for the touchdown. That was a great block. Even on one of Cook's his longer rushing touchdown, that was a great block. They played well, man. They played like as weird as it is, they played like a unit. And Muss asked me Rosie and I before the game, who he thinks has improved. And Rosie went first, of course, and said Justin Jefferson. I think Garrett Bradbury's played really well. I mean, you didn't hear Kenny Clark's name that much during this game, and that guy's a stud. He's one of the best defensive tackles in football, and they pushed him around. I mean, even Cook, 163 yards on 30 carries and 3 touchdowns in the long of a 37-yard run. They dominated the line of scrimmage, and everyone always says the problem with the Packers is we get dominated at the line of scrimmage by them, and today we didn't, and it was great.
Yeah, it was. And again, so I think, what this team's not going to win every game the rest of the season. I still don't believe the Vikings are a playoff team, but things that give you hope and make you think positively for 2021 and beyond will be days like today where you're praising, like, wow, Garrett Bradbury's taken some leaps here too. And I think that's kind of, for me, that's been a common theme for the season. Problem with Garrett is the guys working on either end of him have just been awful.
Horrid. Yeah.
And so, but then glimmer of hope with Ezra Cleveland.
You might have some with Ezra.
I don't want him to be my right guard. I want him to be my left tackle. And I don't know where that's at in the mix. And Riley Reef currently in the mix there too. So they got to figure that out. Maybe that's a move that's made by Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that move hasn't been made yet. But getting the DJ Wanham, how about that? So we don't have Daniil and we trade Ngakoue, and our defensive line is right now comprised of a lot of guys that haven't been playing good enough and haven't been good enough for the balance of their career so far. DJ Wanham stepping in, and he's immediately a game changer during his first opportunity against the Titans, and you just see him getting more reps, and then he's making use of it. So, I think the rest of the season, win, lose, or how many of the L's they get, I think a big part of it's just going to be celebrating growth moments for some of these young kids.
Right, and we've been talking about this all season long, whether it was at the beginning of the year when we were talking about what could this team be. We don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but how good can they be? Or a couple weeks later when we were talking about, do they need to blow this up? Where is this a full rebuild, a partial rebuild? And you're talking about those pieces, Nordo, that they have that they can build around. This isn't the New York Jets. This isn't, Miami a couple years ago where they're completely blowing everything up because they basically had nothing.
Yeah.
There are pieces, some of them very obvious, Adam Thielen's, Dalvin Cook's, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr Harrison, like those ones, the ones are there, the solid ones that you can count on. But then you see some of these young guys. I heard PA earlier this week on X's and O's was talking with Andre Patterson. They were talking about DJ Wanham stepping into that role, that opportunity there. Patterson sounded completely comfortable with it. Was it preferred? Probably not, but he felt comfortable with that situation. So you look at the next couple days here, and if there was ever a trade deadline where Rick Spielman could slide something under the radar a little bit, throw it on Election Day 2020 and have everybody focused elsewhere.
That's a great point.
When they're freaking out. So does that mean he does anything that would normally upset the fan base, which is paying attention to the polls rather than the team, and trade somebody that is of notable name like we talked about? Or if he just continues to do the moves that slightly look towards the future, get them some draft picks, get them some depth in some spots as need, and maybe move on from somebody who's not going to be a part of that plan.
Well, more to your point,
people are going to be paying attention to the election on Tuesday.
I can't wait for it to pass, and I'm afraid it's going to be another month.
Same, but Tuesday is the ultimate news dump.
Right.
You could.
It's a Friday news dump.
Correct.
Of the 10th degree.
Correct. You could do not that they're going to move Cousins or they're going to move.
You could move. A guy like Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
That name has come up, and it's probably not going to happen. Or Harrison Smith, or any of those. But that's the kind of name that you could slide under the radar on a day like that.
Yeah, and I think, as we've kind of established here, I don't think winning today changes any of their plans if they were going to move somebody.
It shouldn't.
If they were going to move Anthony Harris at 11:50 today, they're going to move him regardless of what happened in today's outcome, right. I think. But it's
still a long shot to make the playoffs.
Well,
Even if you do make the playoffs, you're probably not doing it. Are there 3 teams all time that have started 1-5 and made the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they showed them today. It was like the Titans, It doesn't matter.
There's
But
tough games coming up. I mean, it's
And
unlikely.
this team doesn't feel like if there's been 3 teams, they don't feel like the
Right.
fourth.
Right.
To be honest.
yeah,
Right.
and the other thing too, though, in today's wins, great, awesome, cool, they won. This secondary, I mean, do we have a full update on Cam Dantzler? They said
Yeah, I don't know.
during the game that he was moving his extremities, and I'm 90% sure Greg or one of them said that he's going to fly home with the team.
Yeah, it's good.
So
good
that's
news.
great news.
Right.
Still, though, I mean,
the
I don't
neck
know.
injuries,
I don't.
man.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know
Hughes
if he'll
and Hunter
play.
and-
Neck injury and concussion. Too.
Right. I don't know if he'll play Sunday. Hughes is still out.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that fell to the ground? Was that
Mark Fields.
Yeah, whoever
Wasn't
that
it
was.
Boyd who got hurt?
Oh, Boyd got hurt. They both.
Yeah,
I think, didn't they
Boyd-
both take a moment.
Yeah, one of them had a non-contact injury
Yeah,
going to
Boyd
the
went
ground.
down with the non-contact.
So there's that, which we don't really
What
know.
the hell is happening?
Right.
So this secondary is they're going to have to continue, and I don't think you're going to get 4 touchdowns every game out of Dalvin Cook.
You know what? This might change in this scenario with those guys getting hurt today and the thinness that you already have at the defensive back position. It might change what they do trade for.
Yeah.
You know, you might, instead of getting a 4th round pick, you might take a 6th round pick and a depth defensive back to kind of fill in and help you do something.
Yeah, do we have 4 corners now?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think they do.
I don't think we
But
do.
then it gets weird because you got to sit out for a week with the COVID stuff. Again, you're just looking for bodies. You're not
Right.
necessarily looking for a rent-a-player to
looking
take
for
you to the
anything.
next step. You're just looking for bodies.
Vikings win 28-22. They are now 2-5. The Packers are 5-2. Dalvin Cook scored 4 touchdowns today. We'll come back. We'll talk more about that and just how dominant Dalvin Cook was today.
Hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good, the program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com? 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com.
We all have different tastes in music. Some of us like hip hop, some of us like vaporwave. So, shouldn't we all be able to have different wireless options too? Because while one person might need unlimited, shared data might work better for someone else. And other people could be into having a mix of each, all on one plan. But that's their way, exactly the way they want it. It's your wireless, your rules, only with Xfinity Mobile. Go to xfinitymobile.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires post-pay Xfinity Internet.
This is Keith Ellison, your Minnesota Attorney General. Election Day is coming up on November 3rd, and we need to make sure that every vote is counted. In Minnesota, voter intimidation is illegal. Every person should feel free and safe to vote, no matter their background or community. That's why I'm sharing some important information as you head to the polls. Only authorized people are allowed inside a polling place during voting hours, and only while voting or registering to vote. This includes children of voters, poll workers, and anyone helping a voter. And gathering or lingering within 100 feet of a polling place is not allowed. If you feel threatened or intimidated at a polling site, call 877-600-VOTE to report the incident and ask for help. Look, we got this. Your vote is your voice. Let's be heard.
Paid for by the Leadership Center for Attorney General Studies.
We are Uline, North America's leading distributor of shipping, packaging, and industrial supplies. As an essential business, customers rely on us for the products they need to keep operations running. Uline is hiring warehouse professionals. Make your move to enjoy competitive pay and discover your full potential at a growing and stable company that puts your safety first. At Uline, it begins with you. Apply today. Visit uline.jobs.
Alexa, how do I fix a circuit breaker that keeps tripping?
Yeah, that sounds like something to save for the professionals. You need to call Early Bird Electric. Their expertise is troubleshooting and rewires. They're offering a free service call with purchased repair. Get same-day service and a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Early Bird Electric. Call
612 The Bird. Early Bird Electric. 612 The Bird.
As a professional painter, you know your customers want a flat finish, but don't want to pay the price of fighting dirt, grime, and scuffs. Use new Bare Ultra Scuff Defense from the Home Depot for a beautiful flat finish, plus stain and scuff defense. And that price starts at just $29.60 a gallon. And that's before the Pro Extra discount. A flat paint that's too tough to scuff. Bare Ultra Scuff Defense. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available online and in select stores.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Your home for all things purple.
He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Diggs. Stay on. Oh my God.
FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
Handoff Dalvin. He has room to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! 21-yard touchdown by Dalvin Cook. High formation handoff Dalvin to the end zone. Touchdown! Dalvin domination continues. And a day after Halloween, Dalvin, you're a treat.
The Minnesota Vikings win 28-22 over the Green Bay Packers.
You guys are a treat, too.
The Minnesota Vikings are now 2-5. The Packers fall to 5-2, and they take on the San Francisco 49ers this Thursday. That will be on this station. But
is that in San Fran or Lambeau?
No idea.
Probably.
It's in San
It's
Fran.
in San Francisco?
Somebody just said Jimmy Garoppolo when I left the game with injury, too.
Oh, boy.
That would make sense because he was having a hideous game from the scoreline. So,
yeah. But here we go.
Yeah. Sorry to
Dalvin
interrupt
Cook.
you.
No, you're fine. I was looking at the Wendy's pretzel pub bacon burger on TV. Cook had 3 touchdowns on the ground and 1 through the air. He becomes the first player since the merger to score to score a touchdown on each of his team's first 4 possessions of a game.
That's sweet.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's the first Viking to have 4 TDs in a game since Ahmad Rashad did it in September of 1979. He's the first player in Vikings history with 4 touchdowns and over 200 scrimmage yards. And the Vikings tweeted, in today's victory, the Vikings running back Dalvin Cook becomes the 5th player with 200-plus scrimmage yards, 3-plus rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown in a single game in the Super Bowl era. That's unbelievable.
Not too shabby.
That's how good that kid is. And,
I mean, the game was planned out where just due to wind or whatever
it was, the game plan
board with the QB.
The game plan was executed perfectly, and it was Kirk, just don't kill us. And Kirk only threw for 11. He only threw 14 times for 11 completions, 160 yards, and the 1 touchdown. Of course, it went to Dalvin. Other than that, Kirk Cousins was in full just maintenance mode.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And I loved it. I loved every single second of it. This team is built to win under the pretenses, and Kirk can get explosive. We've seen him do it during his tenure with us, but we're going to go as this run game goes, and you can't probably win with that lopsided balance of stats every single week. Kirk's going to have to do more, and maybe that even starts as quickly as next Sunday against the Lions, but this is how good Dalvin can be, and this just keep this guy healthy and keep him on the field. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it. And not surprised at all by how effective he was today. What did surprise me at times, though, I felt like in the second half, I don't know about how you guys saw it. Like, it was like there were some members of that Green Bay Packers defense that just didn't want to be out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like they know Dalvin's coming.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stop it. And I don't really even want to try to tackle him at this stage. Like, I mean, it just looked like a defeated group, which was delightful. It's so delightful.
It looked like a group that was looking forward to Thursday. That's what
Packers.
it was.
It looked like the Vikings most of the season.
Yeah, correct.
I hate to say it, but
they thought they were just going to roll out and moonwalk their way into the end zone, and
then spend 2 days in Green Bay and then move on to sunny California.
Can you picture how smug Rodgers must have been the last few days?
Course.
Just knowing that they were going to be 6-1.
And they should have.
They
should have tore that secondary apart.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
No.
Give credit to the Vikings put together, albeit for one day, they put together a perfect game plan.
Man, just this is how bad this year has been, to the point where we improved to 2-5 on the season. And it's just a completely different emotional complex that I'm existing in right now. It's a beautiful thing. And the key for me is this team wants to win. They want to compete. I mean, they're pros. And so the ability to see some of the things we saw today, and now what does that mean moving forward, though? I mean, this can be a massive confidence builder for them. Right. If you're of the idea and the mindset that you'd like to see this team as close to the top of the NFL draft board as possible, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel if they go beat Detroit next weekend?
Right. I mean,
we're watching the Chicago Bears collapse before our very eyes.
Correct. They're down 10 right now. Detroit got waxed today.
Yeah, Detroit's terrible. Kenny Galladay had a great game, though.
But now if the Packers, this is me being a rube, so just bear with me for a second. What if the Packers go to San Fran and lose on Thursday and get run over again by whoever the hell their starting running back of the week is? And then you get, you see what's happening here, AJ?
When they get a little glimpse of competitive division again, that's when it scares me. Well, because again, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I know there's some tough games in the back end. There's some easy games for the next couple of weeks here. They could win a couple more games. They will win a couple more games. But again, no matter what, and this is how I look at it, and you can rip my approach, my fandom, my whatever you want. I'm looking at it more from the long-term perspective. They're not going to do anything this year.
No, I'm
not going to be at the stadium. Nobody's going to be at the stadium. It's not like we can go to playoff games or do anything different. So if there ever was a year for them to tank out, not tank out, but to lose more games than they win and to get a better draft pick, this is the one that I'm looking at is saying, like, let's make this team better going forward and take some big steps, whether you're in favor of a quarterback, an offensive tackle, a defensive back, whoever you want, you're going to have a better chance at getting a better player the closer you are to the draft.
Let's be honest here, though. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I agree with you. I don't look at this team as being somebody that's going to be playing deep into January or February or whenever the hell Super Bowl 55 takes place. So these are fleeting moments in a weird, bad season. So I enjoy that they beat the Packers.
If it's going to happen, let it happen against the Packers.
If they're going to have only 2 or 3 wins, let's beat them in Lambeau. But where you're right, though, and I was talking with you, Saucy, before we went on the air, this is the type of thing where now they're going to rattle off wins. They got a 3-game home stretch against the Jaguars, the Cowboys, and Teddy. I mean, Teddy and the Panthers are formidable.
But you might have McCaffrey back.
And McCaffrey's a beast. They should. So,
but here's the other thing too.
What if they just accidentally become 7-9 and now they're picking 12?
Right. No one. That's exactly what'll happen, because they will be favorited versus the Lions this Sunday at noon. They'll be a favorite.
Yeah.
Then they go to Then they go to Chicago, where they're terrible in Chicago. Yeah, it's a Monday night game. They never win in Lambeau. Why do I keep saying that? They never win in Soldier Field.
They never win in Soldier Field. They never win in primetime.
I think your guy has seen them win in Soldier Field twice, maybe.
He should still be the quarterback of the team.
So it was
AP guy or AP.
Well, 07
AP's
for sure,
game.
AP he had like 224 on the ground that day. 2017, 2015. They walked off. That was back when Blair Walsh hit the game-winning field goals.
Let's see.
They lost there in 09.
I bet you it was 02 or 04 that they also got a win.
So he's seen them.
02 they were in Champaign, so that doesn't count. So 04.
Chicago Bears.
I bet you it's
all
04.
games. Let's look here real quick.
But still, though. So
it doesn't happen often. It's going to be Monday night,
which
we've seen what Kirk does sometimes.
Correct.
When the lights are bright.
But then, as you said, though, then they play the awful Dallas Cowboys. Awful at home. Then the Panthers. Then Jacksonville has already come out and said that they're going to bench Gardner Minshew. Now their last 4 games. Their last 5 games, they'll probably lose.
Yeah, you got Tampa,
the Bears again, the Saints.
Are we in New Orleans for that game?
Yeah, you're at New Orleans and then you're at Detroit. Doesn't matter, though. But your next 3 out of 4 are extremely winnable.
Yeah.
Extremely winnable. They will be favorited versus the Lions, versus the Cowboys, and versus Jacksonville. And maybe even versus the Panthers, because it's here.
I bet it's like a 2 or 3 point bet.
Right.
Yeah.
So you other than you won't be against Chicago. But they'll be a favorite now.
For the sake of the conversation, 2017, 2015, both wins at Soldier Field, and then it goes back to 2007.
Right.
October 14th.
Didn't they win in 04?
No, they didn't win until 2000 after that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your guys seen them win 3 times.
Couple long stretches.
Yeah.
3 times in Chicago. Right.
Yeah. I think it's the grass.
So we'll see, man. But I don't
Right as we disparage them, they're back in this game with New Orleans.
Right. And they're this team
Yeah,
never
but
quits, though.
the Saints got their own issues.
Yeah, well, the Saints aren't any good either.
Yeah.
But, whatever. So, Dalvin Cook scores 4 touchdowns. I think the offensive line played really well. I think we saw today a team that believes in themselves. I think we saw a team that, even though you shut down both their wideouts, they still got a victory. Justin Jefferson maybe at his worst game of the season.
Yeah.
Statistics wise, and they still won. They beat a team that they were, at one point this week, 6.5 point dogs to.
I think if you
on the road in Lambeau with no secondary.
As of now, and it's super easy to say this on November 1st, I think you can get a QB at 12.
Right. I mean,
because
you
you're
have to have
not
somebody
you're
drop.
not getting one. You're not getting
No, because the Jets aren't going to win a game.
You're not going to get
Jets
Trevor.
are
It's
not going to win a game.
You're not going to get one. And then who's is as it stands now is Fields or Lance?
Fields is the second guy.
Yeah.
And then there's some cat out of
BYU quarterback.
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of his highlights?
He's really good.
So that's probably the guy we're looking at, maybe.
Yeah, or
and then Trey
North
Lance
Dakota,
from NDSU.
Yeah. So there's 4 of them there, but yeah, I mean, or
God,
as we always talk about,
right?
You take the 4th quarterback or you take the 1st offensive tackle. You know what I mean?
And that's Penei Sewell.
Yeah, from
the Oregon kid.
Or you take the number 1 defensive tackle.
Or
So
you
there's
lose the rest of the games and take Justin Fields.
Yeah, or you do that.
There's that
Yeah,
too.
you could. Yeah,
No,
you could.
this team is too talented to go 2
Their
and
secondary
14.
isn't.
That's
though.
the problem.
The
But who-
secondary is not good.
Who else is it going to be? It's going to be the Jets number 1.
Yeah, the
And then
Giants.
what? The Giants
are probably going to win 1 or 2.
They're not going
games.
to. Are they going to take a quarterback?
Probably.
No,
Yeah.
they like Daniel Jones.
No, they're
Jones has been showing some stuff.
Yeah.
They got other issues too. The Bengals, they're in that,
No,
that
they wouldn't
window.
take
They're
a
not going to take a quarterback.
No.
Who else are we talking?
Falcons.
Falcons will take
they
a
might take a quarterback.
Yeah,
that
they
could be
will
one.
They
yeah.
will for sure.
Well,
yeah.
Matt Ryan was 08.
Yeah, they'll
They,
take
they
a
need.
quarterback.
They might
for
need
sure.
to take another guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who's to say
They're
something?
winning games now too.
Yeah, but who's right? And they should have
They've
beat
won 2 in a
Detroit.
row.
Gurley doesn't fall into the end zone.
Right.
They've won 3 games.
But they still. I mean, the Lions still had to go down and get the score. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Gurley shouldn't necessarily be too hard on himself.
No.
Nobody's quite as good at kneeling short of the line.
That was funny.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Well,
Right.
Gurley did it a few years ago when we were during the bye week, that Packers-Rams game that was like a big
Oh, he did.
tilt.
Yeah.
And that
it was like a short
that
pass
was
and
the
wheel route bit.
That was the over.
Oh.
So that was the one he successfully stopped, right?
Yeah, he stopped. That was
Fantasy
the over.
footballers are going crazy.
You can imagine the sports book when he,
Oh.
he fixes in at that point. That was everybody's thing. Let's break. We'll
Yeah,
come
we'll-
back. We'll go around the league. A lot happened. There is one undefeated team left in the league. We'll tell you who that is. Tons of stuff around the NFL when we come back. It's Vikings Overtime with AJ Mansour, Eric Nordquist, and I'm Paul Lambert. Bye.
Comment here. Remember Dorothy and Toto too? All Dorothy wanted was to go home because, well, there's no place like home. You probably feel the same way, except with all that junk, your home isn't a home. It's more like a consignment store for unwanted junk. That's where the folks from 1-800-GOT-JUNK come into play. You call, they come, you point, and the junk disappears. It really is that easy. And 1-800-GOT-JUNK takes most everything. Furniture and appliances, mattresses, electronics, construction debris, and so much more. And same-day service is their specialty. They can typically be to your place in 90 minutes or less. Book a free on-site estimate or same-day service by calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK or online at 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com. Dorothy got her wish by clicking her heels with those ruby red shoes. You'll get your wish by just pointing at the junk. That's 1-800-GOT-JUNK, the world's largest junk removal service. 1-800-GOT-JUNK or 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The autumn leaves are already falling. Soon the holidays will be here. Skip the holiday rush and visit Shane Company today for extraordinary gifts in every price range. As your friend in the jewelry business, we're going above and beyond to make shopping safer. In our store, we're taking extra precautions, including temperature screenings, mandatory masks, and social distancing. We've also installed a new air purification system. Why not enjoy a Sunday drive to see our huge selection of fine jewelry? Experience the sparkle of our diamonds, the vivid colors of our sapphires, our lustrous pearls. You'll both see and feel the quality of our superior craftsmanship. You can also book an appointment with a jewelry consultant and meet either virtually or in store. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good, the program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com? 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com.
We all have different tastes in music. Some of us like hip hop, some of us like vaporwave. So, shouldn't we all be able to have different wireless options too? Because while one person might need unlimited, shared data might work better for someone else. And other people could be into having a mix of each, all in one plan. But that's their way, exactly the way they want it. It's your wireless, your rules, only with Xfinity Mobile. Go to XfinityMobile.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires post-pay Xfinity Internet.
It's Chris Hockey. How great is it to move into the fast lane, avoiding traffic jams, breezing through airport security? Nobody likes to wait in line, and that's why Chris Lindahl Real Estate's Guaranteed Offer program is perfect for you. Bypass the crowded marketplace and get maximum control and convenience. It's simple. You get a guaranteed offer on your home. There's no showings, no open houses, no stress. You even pick your closing date and close with confidence. Buying anything today, groceries, clothes, even cars, is all about control and convenience. You go online, you check your options, you make your choices, you pick your delivery speed, and boom, you're done. So why shouldn't it be the same with real estate? Now it is with Chris Lindahl Real Estate's Guaranteed Offer program. The days of cleaning and decluttering and trying to sell your current home before you want to buy your next one, those are over. Now you skip the headaches, you skip the stress, and you skip the uncertainty with the Guaranteed Offer program. If you're ready to move into the fast lane and sell your home with maximum control and convenience, well, just go to chrislindahl.com today and start packing. It's chrislindahl.com. chrislindahl.com.
Broadcasting from the Bryan Heating and Cooling Studios, this is FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
Your station for Skull is FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
28-22 Vikings Green Bay with no timeouts and 11 seconds to go in the game. Rodgers on a very deep drop, rolls out to the right. DJ Wadham, he crushed him. Yes, you did, DJ Wadham. Smacked him from behind, and that is the ball game. 28-22 Minnesota. Border battle 121 goes the way of the purple, and the Packers got cooked by Dalvin domination.
Everybody's got their own opinion. Nordo and I were doing the draft show back in April, and the Minnesota Vikings selected DJ Wadham.
Yeah.
And Pro Football Focus said he was the worst defensive lineman in college football that was draftable. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're like, what are we doing?
It was kind of
And
the
then you
defensive
fast forward-
version of Willie Beaver.
Correct.
I was just going to say,
it was the same thing.
The
Right.
problem is that, and then when you're like, well, they were right about Willie Beaver.
Right. We're going, oh boy.
Oh, crap.
Here we go again. And then the guy wins the game, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. A 3-man rush. The Packers did nothing to slow him down.
Right.
And he just never gave up on the play. And you know Rodgers was winding up to whip that thing into the end zone, and with our luck, he might have caught it. And then here we are going, how did they lose that game? But they didn't.
Yep.
And they won. But you got to give Andre Patterson credit, as AJ said a half hour ago, man. These kids come in here, and Andre Patterson is really good at what he does.
Yes.
And he's made he said it in the pregame, the bit with whoever he was talking to. You know, these guys have come in and they're just nobodies, and now look at them now. They work their ass off, and they are where they are.
Yeah. No, DJ has been really good. I'm excited, and it's out of necessity. You know, even like Hercules Mataafa, you release him.
Didn't they cut him?
Yeah.
And then they brought him back. They put him on the practice squad. But like a guy like Hercules. You know what he did in college? He was a pass rusher. He was an outside guy. And so in some ways out of necessity, they move him to the inside because of this freaking three technique spot that they can't figure out. Tom Johnson, a bit player that had been with 2 or 3 different teams, comes in here. He's the last good 3 technique we've had.
Yeah.
And he was really good, actually, by the way. But other than that, we can't figure out how to get pressure. Sheldon Richardson did his thing, really liable against the run. So that was a problem. And he moved on. But to move guys, to get Hercules out, like I'm just, again, weird year. Not sure what the expectations are.
Michael Pierce was going to be there.
Yeah.
and wasn't.
Well, and he'll be bowling ball, Linval, and the reason we had to make that move, by the way, is Jaleel Johnson hasn't proven that he could replace Linval.
Right.
So you'll have him next year and all that. But so for the rest of 2020, I want to see guys like DJ Wanham get better. I want to see Hercules Mataafa as a pass rusher. I want to see some of the things like that. Jeff Gladney, who feels like our only healthy cornerback at this stage. So, I mean, are we going to play with 5 safeties on the field, or maybe just get Chad Beebe out there, go Belichick on it, and turn a wide receiver into a defensive back? But, like, I just want to see, like, Jeff get better. And I hope Dantzler's neck's okay, so he can get back out there and have those moments. Like that for me, and then just watch Dalvin be special. Well, that's basically all I can ask for the remainder of 2020.
It looks like the Bears kicked the game away. They fumbled.
Bears.
It looked like it was a fumble.
They got the ball back
on a punt.
New Orleans
and everything.
punted with 2 minutes left. They got the ball back. They're driving, and the first play out of that drive,
it looked like,
I don't know who it was, tight end, fumbled the football.
Yeah. Is it the Notre Dame kid?
Oh, Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Kmet.
Did he even have? Oh, whatever. Who cares? How about let's do this.
Paul, you were saying something interesting during the break. You think that the Vikings should look into trading for Sam Darnold?
I never said that. I was just making.
I'm pretty sure I heard it come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I thought you said trade for. No, you didn't. The point of what you're getting at, though, is that
somebody will have to.
There you go.
And,
There you go.
And because they're going to take Trevor Lawrence. Regardless.
You love Darnold's hair.
I wish I had hair.
That's part of the affinity.
I don't know if this is a catch.
Tough to say. Ooh. Tough to say.
It's been a while since we've had some Oh, that's a catch.
It depends when it came
it's
out.
a freaking catch.
Oh, yeah. It came out there.
Anyhow, let's go around the league. You guys ready for that?
Let's do it.
Let's go around the league.
Bills 24, Patriots 21. The Patriots are 2-5. 2-5. And Cam Newton, who was like the fantasy king for the first couple of games, he's terrible again.
Yeah, he's been awful.
I think I heard a stat that the Patriots are the only team in the NFL not to score, maybe it was score a touchdown or score at all in the first quarter of a game this season. Let's go with score a touchdown in the first quarter of the game this season.
Ooh, Cam did have a rushing TD.
He did. He saved my fantasy day.
Wow.
That being said, yes, that team has not figured it out yet.
I bet Bills -4, so I'm annoyed. But the result was predictable. And Belichick, Belichick, not even so much injuries. He had like 9 guys opt out.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dante Hightower, a couple of his starting
everybody thought that
Cannon,
they were tanking for Trevor
And
when
so-
all those
well-
names came out.
Well, maybe they are.
Well, I mean, but by the end of the year, if this team's 2-5 now, and they just don't even look competitive. In some
they're getting
respects.
worse.
This is not a Patriots team.
I mean, and so, Bill maybe can handle it. When he stares up at the 6 trophies, he can just be like, yep, don't have the ammo this year.
Yeah.
Get a QB in round 1 next year and back immediately right back in the mix, especially when they get Dante Hightower and some of those
all
high
those
enders
guys
on
back,
defense
yeah.
back.
So somehow the Bears have the ball.
It wasn't a fumble.
It wasn't a fumble. Or it wasn't a
So
fumble?
he didn't control the catch.
Wow.
Okay.
Bengals 31, Titans 20. The Titans have now lost 2 straight. I mean, they're still 5-2, but they've lost 2 straight. Burrow 249 and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry 112 and a touchdown. So
I think the issue with that would be this loss. I mean, losing to the Steelers.
Right. That's an okay loss.
That's a formidable competition that they were in.
The Bengals just blitzed them. They came out of the gates like
Losing
crazy.
to the Bengals and not being able to do what you do best is a problem.
Right.
Raiders 16, Browns 6. There's rumors swirling that Odell Beckham will not play another down in Cleveland. The Browns got off to kind of a good start, and then here we are again. Baker Mayfield only threw for 122 yards, but hey, the Raiders are 4-3 and the Browns are 5-3.
Yeah, who cares about Odell Beckham? I mean, the team And this is a bad example, but
remember for like 15 minutes we thought he was going to be traded here.
Yeah,
that guy out of New York went with that
weird
rumor that
Forgot
he was
about that.
like that the deal was basically done, and your guy even went on the air and was like, "Yeah, this guy isn't just going to make that up."
Right,
and then all of a sudden, like the next segment, your guy comes back from one of his very credible sources, like that ain't happening.
No.
We're not doing that.
Well, that was when he was traded from the Giants to the Browns?
No. That was when he was on. That was right. That was like 2 days before the NFL draft.
No, you're right. Yeah. Couldn't be happier that he's not here.
I know.
Yeah. Colts 41, Lions 21. Stafford threw for 3 touchdowns, but man, that Colts defense is really, really, really good.
Did Xavier Rhodes have any interceptions today?
I don't know, but he's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's awesome. He has been playing good. But hey, they're 5-2, and the Lions are 3-4. And the line next week because we play the Lions, we're 3.5-point favorites going into that game versus the Lions next week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know we're only half paying attention to this game, but it was 4th down, and somehow the Bears, there must have been a penalty in New Orleans that gave them an automatic first down, and now they're 3 yards from another first down.
And then they're running the
field goal.
Now they're running the ball.
All they got to do is get in field goal range.
Time.
10 yards.
Oh yeah, never. They have timeouts
They got
too.
time and timeouts.
Chiefs 35, the Jets 9. Patrick Mahomes threw for 5 touchdowns. The Jets are 0-8.
Couple to Tyreek Hill, if I do believe so.
Unlike the college team, the Chiefs were like 19.5-point favorites and actually covered.
Right.
And actually won.
Yeah. The other team that was 19.5-point favorites didn't. Yeah, Tyreek Hill did have 2 touchdowns. The Charge Challenge is the most lopsided thing.
How did Galladay do today?
He had 0. This is like the third time I've almost sworn.
Like, man.
Yeah, I don't think, and Power Trip Bets is listening, I don't think besides Deshaun Watson, I've had an offensive touchdown.
Oh, he'll find it.
I don't think I've had an offensive touchdown. And any of the guys I've picked, I've had a 0. I had
you had a 2.
I had a 2. Who's the running back for the Giants? Saquon. He got hurt in his second play. I had him. But then AJ and Creasel get back-to-back weeks. How about that? How about if Creasel was given DK Metcalf? He has 160-something yards and 2 touchdowns.
Holy moly.
Yeah, good for him, though. So the Seahawks are going to dominate 37-20, and then the Chargers are up 30-24, albeit the Denver Broncos are driving. There's 24 seconds left or 19 seconds left.
You're only 36 points behind the Ghost.
The problem, though, is I can't get any kind of momentum. And unless it's Corey Cove, who, Corey picks 5th. It's all great quarterbacks. I have no shot. I don't have any kind of shot. And then I have Goofy picking in front of me, who goes from, I'm going to pick a random. And then
who was he going to pick?
He was
Galladay. It was Galladay.
But now, granted, I would have taken Justin Jefferson, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
The whole thing sucks. It just, who cares? I mean, as long as I'm on the billboard with someone, it won't be as bad. But either way, I'm just bad at fantasy.
Yeah.
But
you are.
Whatever. Where were we?
What is the ailment going to be?
Hopefully something funny.
Yeah.
Something that hockey's probably had.
It's like scabies or something.
Yes.
Too close to home.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, but who knows? It'll be funny. How did they get another first down?
Because they only needed 2 yards.
Oh, the Bears are going to somehow find a way to win this game. How about this? Tua. Good weekend for the, I don't know how to say the last name.
Tagovailoa?
The brothers.
Yeah.
Even though Tua didn't play that well, they still won 28-17 over the Rams. Jared Goff threw it 61 times.
Yeah.
Just whatever. And then, of course, the Steelers are your team that remain undefeated. They go 28-24 over the Ravens. So, good for them, man. That Steelers team's really, really good. And a lot of people with Ben coming back thought, whatever. I don't know how good he's going to be. And maybe he's too hurt. Maybe he should have retired. But his squad's 7-0.
My favorite thing about the Steelers is, they have TJ Watt. They got a couple of big-time playmakers on defense. But then there's a ton of guys making plays for them I've never heard of. So Tomlin it's masterpiece over there.
So although a lot of people will be paying attention to the whatever it's called, the election on Tuesday, if there is a Vikings move, you can find it on KFN.com.
Absolutely.
So we got all that. Thank you, AJ. Anything else on KFAN.com currently?
All the stuff from today's game. We'll put some audiograms together with post-game interviews and highlights, everything. There's all you need.
Nordo, what tomorrow? Probably a happy montage. Roll from there.
Yeah, run, baby, run montage. Bursic should be in the mix, and just a little bit of celebration and pondering what the hell a second win in the season means.
Vikings win 28-22. Dalvin Cook, 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. They dominate 28-22 in a way that they shouldn't have, because they should have got blown out, but they won. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns. Vikings versus the Lions next week.